This is my DPS Dragonknight. Been working on this for a little bit. Still trying to get gear together, but this is basically version 1 of what this build is going to be like. I will release a version 2 of this build once I'm fully golded out and completely like happy 100% with the gear. But as far as the basics, this is completely set up. It's ready to go right out of the box. Um, I've been using a lot of like my gear was all over the place. I was using green versions of things and blues and like it was just all over. I just managed to finally get the swords that I wanted. I wanted it in defending, so I finally picked them both up. They're ready. I upgraded one of them to purple just now, so that's good. Eventually, I'm gonna get everything to purple. I mean, to gold. But anyway, that's the future. It's still gonna cost me a lot of money to be able to do that. And I also want to get some different stats on these things. So I was actually gonna go full reinforced if I can. So I'm gonna try to grind those out. But that's gonna take a long time. So I'm just gonna show you what the build is right now and what it's capable of. As far as stats go, I put 40 in the Magicka and I did 24 in the health. This basically makes it so that I at least have a good basis as far as Magicka, which let me pop my buff so you can see its full potential here, which I'm using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. That's what I'm using for the drink. I use this because the Dragon Knight out of all classes suffers from major mana issues, like crazy mana issues, like to the point where if you're gonna do 2 attacks and you're gonna be out of mana, and then you have to heavy attack for the rest of your life. That I cannot deal with. So what I did here was I'm using the Witch Mother's Potent Brew along with the Atronach Magic Recovery boon. So I'm using that along with my rings and my necklace. All have recovery on it. So this got me up to 2,365 in magic recovery as of right now. Probably go up a little bit more once I get everything golded out, but that's another that's version 2, so don't even worry about that right now. Okay, so I did 40 in the Magicka just to get this to 30,000 Magicka, which is I'm happy with it. It's fine like that. I was using food buffs before, and I actually had that up to 37,000, and but I was suffering for health. I had that down to like 15k hit points, which was dangerous. And anybody that does veteran content, you know that having 15k hit points as a DPS with no shields, you're asking to die all the time. So this is pretty much I picked up the hit points for that reason. I was trying to go for 20,000 on the hit points, but I got a little shy of it. But I know in the future, once I get the Undaunted, the try skill for having the heavy, medium, and light, it will pick up all these things that I'm kind of lacking. So that would pick that up. But as of right now, 19k hit points, 30,000 Magicka. My spell crit is at 35,000. I mean 35%. I don't know why I say 35,000. Just these big numbers. 35% actually works really well. I tried using the boon for increasing the crit chance, and that picks it up to about 40 something percent, 45 or something. It's not worth it because if you don't have this magical recovery going on, you will be out of mana always. No matter how high, like you can, if you're not over 2,000 magic recovery on this, you're gonna be suffering unless you enjoy popping potions, which I don't like doing. So I try to make my builds so that they work out of the box and they don't require other things. So definitely works the way it does. Spell resistance and physical resistance is another thing that I've been investigating with lately and playing around with. It actually works amazing. I'm in full light armor right now, and I picked up my physical resistance to base 18k, so that's really good. Spell resistance already comes in when you're wearing light armor. You get a lot of spell resistance just from that alone. Let me just show you when I pop my buff, which one of my buffs here, this one here, volatile armor. This picks up your physical and spell resistance, and this is an excellent attack. That's why I love it, because it's a great attack. But if I pop that, I could show you exactly what the resistance is like. So my resistance goes up to 23k, which is really, really good. That's pretty much like you're wearing heavy armor, along with the spell resistance 25. So that alone is already negating a lot of damage. Also, I have a lot of other things running, because I'll have to show you the champion points. Let me show you some of my gear and what's going on with that. I'm using the pirate skeletons set. So what this is what it does is it gives you the physical and the spell resistance, so that's really good. And then it's also giving you a chance, an 8% chance when you take health damage, which you're not running shields, so you're gonna be taking health damage. 8% chance to turn into a skeleton, and then when you're in skeleton mode, you're reducing all damage taken by 30%, which is amazing. The health recovery part is garbage, so we don't care about that. Even though that's what DK specialize in, don't care about that. There's no point in that. I've tried health builds before. Actually, my friend Zeph tried a super build with just pure health recovery, and it was garbage. So don't ever try to do that. But as far as this goes, it does reduce your healing received by 15%, but you don't even notice that. So don't even worry about that. But the big thing about this is that you're getting that 30% from reduced damage taken on this. And then I'm also a vampire. So being a vampire reduces the damage that you take by like 33 or something. It's pretty much the same. Let me show you wherever I could find it. It is right here, 33% when you get below 50% health. So pretty much every time I get below 50% health and I'm in skeleton form on top, I'm pretty much invincible. Like, there's no way something can kill me, like at least one shot me or anything. Because when I'm getting below 50% health, it just makes me so like pretty much invulnerable that I could easily heal myself with any of my heals, which I got plenty of heals. So any of these abilities, unless you fall asleep at the keyboard or fall asleep on your controller, there's no way you can die with this build. And that's what makes it so awesome, because you're dishing out some crazy damage and you still have massive survivability. And that was the whole thing I was trying to go for with this build. Let me show you the rest of the gear I'm running. Okay, so we're using a Burning Spellweave, this entire set. So I'm using 5 for that, and then I'm also using 5 for Ring of the Sun, or of the Sunset. What this does is it giving you spell damage, so it's increasing your spell damage by 500. That's what this one does, and it procs off of flame damage. Everything you do as a DK is flame damage, so it's really good. This set is awesome for it. It procs all the time. I've never seen it down, so this is definitely a good set. And also, of the Sunset is increasing your spell damage of your flame damage abilities, which everything is flame. So again, it's buffing your damage a lot. But unfortunately, since this is a 5-piece set, I had to dual wield the swords. So that means if you're going to go into the staff line, you're actually losing that final bonus, which is kind of sad, but I mean, you got to deal with it. That's the way it is. So I'm running a 4-piece of the Sunset when I'm actually swapped over to the Fire Staff, which I'll show you how that build works as far as like the dual wielding and everything. I pretty much put all my heavy damaging attacks into the dual wielding side, and then I swap over for this, and basically flame is all AoEs. So let me show you what those powers are like, so you can kind of see what that is. So for dual wielding, I am running Burning Embers. This is an amazing damage over time attack. This thing, you plop it on something and they're taking off at least like 3,000 a second. Like, it's fucking crazy. I've seen the crits of it and it's just like, this thing is out of its world. Also, it heals you for 75% of the damage inflicted. So that means if it stays on them, it heals you for like 10, 12k. Like, I've seen crits of 15k with this thing as far as a heal, and it's just out of this world. Pretty much you could spam the shit out of this and heal yourself all the time. And then I'm using Engulfing Flames. Engulfing Flames increases your damage of your flame damage attack, so this is more damage on top of that. And this is also an awesome damage over time attack here also. I'm using a Quick Cloak from Dual Wielding. I decided to use something from Dual Wielding, and this one actually landed up being excellent because this is negating 25% of AoE attacks. So you can stand in red circles, you can get hit by an AoE, you can get hit by a cone, whatever is something that would actually hit multiple targets. This thing will basically reflect 25% of that. So along with all the resistance I got going on, I pretty much take no damage from AoEs. I could stand in red circles all day and pretty much take like no damage. So it's really awesome. I'm using Molten Whip. So this increases your spell damage by 101, so that's nice. And it's also the biggest damaging attack on the DK, which I was trying to swap things out. I'd swapped into other kind of powers. For a minute, I was actually using the volatile armor on this side, but then I decided I might as well have like an actual heavy damaging attack on the dual wielding, since that's the one that's doing the most damage because I have all my sets working on it. So this definitely makes it worth it when you're dual wielding here. And then my final ability is Unrelenting Grip. I love this so much. I was trying really hard to fit it in the build because there was other abilities I really wanted to put in there, but this thing is just so freaking good because whenever it comes to a point when you're in a dungeon and let's say there's mobs scattered all over the fucking place, and you you're trying to AoE. You know, because the big thing is that the AoE damage is what really gets things done fast. And this lets you pull everything to you so that everything will be just bunched up and then you can just AoE them to death. And it's awesome. I love this ability. It also doubles as a taunt too. So you gotta be careful with it. Because if anybody on the team isn't actually tanking and you do this, you're gonna get aggro. But since your build can actually take damage, you're not gonna really care. Like you can actually tank. You can be like an off tank if anybody takes aggro and they can't handle it. So it's pretty awesome. On the other tray, we're going to Flame Staff. On there, I'm using the coagulated blood. This is your one of your main heals. I'm using this because there are times that I do need a heal, and that's when I hit this. Especially on the staff line, because what I was using for a while was Draw Essence as my main heal. This is actually an amazing damaging attack. Not only does it do that, but it also gives you mana back for everything that you suck off of. So the more, the merrier. Like that's what's amazing about this ability. But I was using this as my main heal, and it didn't work out because if I was fighting one mob at a time, for example, I would actually get to the point where I'm like slowly dying and shit, and then I'll go, oh crap, I'm gonna swap over to this and try to spam Burning Embers. Nope, it's too late, you're dead. So actually this is definitely needed in the build because you're gonna need at least that extra oh shit heal, and that's what that is. And then I already told you about Draw Essence. This thing is amazing. Definitely put it in the build. Then we got Blockade of Fire. Blockade of Fire is awesome because I was trying to compare this to the Ash Cloud, or what I like to call it, Ass Cloud. Ass Cloud is really good, but the problem with it is that it costs so much mana. Look how much mana it costs, 4,000 mana. Like that's ridiculous. So I'll plop it on the ground and it's like, oh, like half my fucking health bar, like my mana bar goes down, and it's like, damn. Where the fuck will my mana go? And it's because of this damn power. So I wouldn't really recommend using this, and the damage is really low compared to the actual Blockade of Fire. So that's why I was trying really hard to make it work, but it doesn't work. So I went with Blockade of Fire because it's very simple, and it also has that chance. So when you kill a mob with a flame, what's it called? I can show you the actual passive. Destruction Staff. When you kill somebody with a Destruction Staff, it can restore 3,600 mana. That to me is priceless. So this is definitely worth it to have over that. For a while on my number 4 tray, I'm using this volatile armor now because it's definitely needed in your build for the resistances, and it's also a nice AoE attack because not only when you pop it, you're giving a damage over time to all the mobs around you, but you're also whenever they hit you, they're basically damaging themselves for 1,000. So it's double. It's doing double the work on this thing. So I really like this ability a lot. And for a while I was using a Force Pulse. I like Force Pulse, but the thing is, this is basically where that whole thing of the how much is the damage compared to Molten Whip, which I was trying to compare and then saying like, I think Force Pulse is better because you know it is range, so I could be able to press it more. But realistically, the whip is doing far more damage. You're getting at least 3 to 4,000 more damage with the whip compared to this Force Pulse. So I preferred to do that because I wanted to actually have a cool looking attack too. Like it looks cool, like doing the whip thing. So that was the main reason why I did it. But if you decide to use Force Pulse, you can always just put it in there, boom, and then just swap it over like that. That's how I was running it for a little bit, and it works. But I actually like the whip ability, so I think I'll end up just sticking with that. But for my final skill, this is your buff. So this is your main buff, the molten armaments. Damn, I can't even pronounce things. Okay, forget it. I give up. But this what this one does is your heavy attacks. It does 40% more damage. So this is actually really good because whenever I am running out of mana, the only way to get mana back is by using your flame staff. So what I'll do is I'll plop all my AoEs on the ground. So I'll throw this down. I'll pop all of this, and then I'll just heavy attack, and just keep doing that until these damage over times run out. Then you plop them back down on the ground. So that's pretty much what my rotation is for getting mana back. But as far as like Force Pulse, like I really like it. So you'll probably land up in the future seeing me use it every now and then. But I like the whip too. So I just kind of like change it up every once in a while. So it's up to you how you want to play it. But I like this buff because it's pretty straightforward and it works. So that's what it is. For ultimates, I'm using the Destruction Staff's ultimate. So this is the Fiery Rage. This one is pretty intense. So I like that one. And then on the other side, I'm using Take Flight. So Take Flight is really nice. It does a lot of like big burst damage. So it's good. And then that's pretty much it for the powers. Let me show you the champion points because this is where the most important thing as far as the resistances go. So over here in the warrior, this is extremely important to have is Ironclad. I'm reducing it by 20%. Any more than that actually gets too much diminishing returns. So I landed up just leaving it at 20%. That is a major source of all the damage that you take from mobs and everything is always direct damage taken. So this is definitely worth it. I tried without it and I tried it with it, and this is definitely like makes a big difference in your resistance. And then on the middle tree, I am using the light armor focus. So this I got it up to 4,000. I'm gonna leave it at that. I like the even numbers. So I just left it at that. You saw it picks it up to over 23,000. So it's really nice. So I left it with that point there. And Hardy up to 43 points. And I also want to get this up to 43 points eventually when I start leveling up some more. And then we got nothing on this line. All right. This is actually the first time I'm skipping this line. I usually get Bastion, but I'm not using shields on this. Which I'm really glad I'm not using shields on this character, because I've always, every DPS I've ever done, I've always felt like I needed damn shield in my tray, and I'm glad I don't need it for this one. For my other lines, let's see. On the Thief, I'm using Sprinter because I didn't know what else to pick. This line is just pretty garbage. Like the only thing that's worth taking is the Anarchist here, and then Tenacity. That's pretty much it. Like, you put these up to 10%, and then everything else you can do whatever the hell you want. Like, I really don't care. This Tumbling, I put this up because I do roll dodge every once in a while, so it's like, why not? I pretty much figured, like, whatever. For this line, this is another very important line. I got Elfborn to 10%. I wish I could get that up to 20, but right now I was just kind of like trying to figure out where to set points because I did some different things set in here. So I'm going to show you what I did. Elemental Expert, I'm going to get that up to 10% soon, so that's going to be 43 points. Mastered at Arms is always a must, so this up to 20%, perfect, stop right there. And then Thaumaturge, that's the new thing that I just put in there. Since everything that you do is damage over time, the stuff that you plop on the ground, like the fire blockade and all that, this is all doing more damage thanks to Thaumaturge. So this is definitely worth it. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all of it here. So we're gonna be working on these things soon, so you'll probably see a new setup, but that's pretty much makes up the whole build. I'm just gonna kind of show you a little bit of what it's like. I mean, this is probably already a really long video, but I might as well at least show you some action, show you what it's like to take it out there and beat some shit. Let's go. Okay, so I just made it to Obsidian Scar. This is one of my favorite public dungeons to kind of grind and stuff. I like these mobs because they're just super easy to kill, so I just kind of run through this whole thing. But let me show you a little bit what the AoEing is like, and I'm also going to do some single target stuff. So whenever I come up on one of these bosses in here, and then we can just single target their asses. But yeah, let's start with the rotation. I start off with Blockade of Storms, and then or Blockade of Fire, and then I'll just kind of branch off to basically spamming draw essence over and over. So basically is do draw essence, wait for it to blow up, it blows up, you hit it again, and you just keep doing that. Let me swap because I do like Force Pulse, but I'm gonna go with the whip. So let me just swap this around real quick. So now we're gonna go with the whip. Where you at? There you are. Okay. Alright, let's do the shit. So do the suck power. Boom, they blow up. And that's pretty much it. Boom! Whip his ass. Then we move on to the next one. So do the suck power. Oh look, you see I just turned into a skeleton, now I'm like super resistant. There's no way they're gonna be able to do shit. Okay, so now come on bitch, follow me. I'm gonna see there's probably somebody following me. I'm gonna herd up this guy along with this mob. I think there's a guy behind me trying to leech. Yep, there he goes. And you can't really ask for much. I mean, this is a public dungeon. But basically the rotation is press 1 and 2 to just kind of get my buffs running, and then I just whip the shit out of him until he's dead. And that's usually what my rotation is with that. Alright, let's pull everything. No holds barred, let's pull everything. Pull the boss too, I don't give a fuck. Come on. Let's give him a challenge. Okay, now watch this. You see how my health goes down? Once it gets down to like 50%, it's pretty much like invincible. I don't even have to worry about nothing anymore. But you see how when I'm fighting one mob at a time, it makes it a lot more difficult. That's why you have to just swap over to dual wielding and just do that. Because the healing, you have to pretty much make sure that you're using coagulated blood, because if you don't, then you're gonna actually go too close to dying and shit. So you really have to keep an eye on your health. You can't just kind of mindlessly run through things. This is a little bit, it takes a little bit of thinking work. But pretty much this whole thing is just so. Why is this guy following me around, man? No. I'm gonna see. Look, he's following me. Look. He knows too. He knows what's going on. See, look, he's following me around. He knows. He's trying to get some free XP. All right, let me come over here and just see if I can get away from this guy. I think this guy is following me around. I'm not gonna get rid of him. I'm not gonna see the end. See, but the heal from draw essence is so epic, man. You saw how my health went down all the way, and then it was just like, I think I think you'll be just fine, because it's like the more mobs that you have on you, the better. That's usually the case. Like if you go into Skyreach with this, it's out of this world. You pretty much have like unlimited mana, unlimited health. Like you just press that ability and you're good. This guy will not leave me alone. Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead. All right, I'm going in. Watch me go in. Not. Let me go to the boss. Where's the boss at? I know there's a boss in here. Where's the boss at? I thought usually there's a boss in this room. Oh, there he is. Okay, now I'm gonna just do destruction staff. I'm gonna go nuts now. Jesus, he got melted. Holy crap. Alright, well, anyway, at least you saw the build. That's pretty much what it's like. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be putting out some more videos on this character as well as all the other ones that I did builds on. I'm trying to go one by one with each one. I don't want to like spam too many videos of the same character too much, so I just I try to space them out. But yeah, you'll see more of this very soon. Definitely want to get this golded out. This is going to be my first one I want to get golded out, so here we go. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.